If you're confused about building the body of your dreams, in this video, I'm gonna slice through the bullshit and give you the 4 things that you need to do on a consistent basis to build your dream physique. And so Pareto's principle says that roughly 20% of your actions create 80% of your results. It's basically the law of unequal distribution, meaning that not everything has equal importance. Some things matter a lot more than others, and most things do not matter at all. And in fitness, most things that people focus on do not fucking matter. What do I mean by that? Things like the optimal workout split for maximizing hypertrophy, the best training frequency for muscle growth, how many sets per muscle group do I need to do every week? Guys, the most popular topics in YouTube fitness will account for maybe 5% of the total results you will achieve in your fitness. People step over the easy 90% to focus on the tricky 10%. You need to let that sink in. You're probably focusing on all these different topics that really don't mean shit. And the funniest thing is that the people who are focused on these little minute details like training splits, sets per muscle group, all this fucking crap, they're usually not even doing the basics. They're not doing the easy things that are actually going to give you most of your fucking results. People have their heads stuck so far up their own assholes, and in this video I'm going to attempt to yank those heads out those people's assholes. Hopefully that's going to help you out a little bit, okay? So let's talk about what these 4 levers are. The first lever is picking a handful of major compound exercises and progressively overloading them over time. You could sit here and argue with me all day long about the optimal sets per muscle group, ooh, training volume, ooh, workout splits. I don't give a fuck, guys. If your lifts in the gym are not increasing in strength over time, your physique is not improving. Your workout program is fucked. Okay? Nothing else really matters. If you have a handful of big compound exercises in your routine, squats, bench presses, deadlifts, overhead presses, rows, chin-ups, and you are adding weight to those lifts gradually and over time you see a gradual increase in your strength and your performance on those lifts, your physique is improving. Everything's going well. Right? But most people do not see that regular increase in strength. They do not see that progressive overload because they're focused on all these other things. And those are the people who run in circles and never achieve their dream physiques. So progressive overload on compound exercises needs to be the foundation of what you do in the gym. And as a side note, this is why we only train 2 to 3 times per week with Polarity Fitness. When you train 2 to 3 times per week, you have lots of recovery. And when you're recovered for each workout, when you step into each workout fully fresh, fully recovered, you're able to train really hard and achieve progressive overload. Most people who are working out 4 to 6 times per week are always exhausted and dragging their feet through their workout because they're not recovered. Right? They're not recovered. They're working out too much, and as a result, they can't achieve progressive overload, and they're stagnant. Their lifts stay the same. They do not see their strength go up over time. The next thing is hitting the right calories and protein every single day. This might piss some people off, but when it comes to improving your body composition, having lots of muscle, having little fat, how much you eat is going to have a much bigger impact than what you eat. And sure, eating healthy is important for health, and I would strongly recommend that 80% of your total calories each day come from healthy food if you care about your health, which you fucking should. But when it comes to improving your body composition and building an attractive physique, how much you eat is going to have a much bigger impact. And this is because of the foundational principle of dieting, which is energy balance, right? If you want to lose weight, that means eating fewer calories than your body burns each day. If you want to gain weight, that means eating more calories than your body burns each day. It's that simple. That's all you have to really focus on. The next thing is getting enough protein. Optimal protein intake is 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. You do not need any more than that to maximize muscle growth. The fitness industry has massively overblown the importance of protein, and that's because they're trying to sell you protein supplements. So of course, the more you fucking consume, the more bread you're giving them, right? So it makes lots of sense. But that's the truth. 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. That's all you really need to maximize muscle growth. Anything more than that is just unnecessary. You don't need 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That's overkill, right? So that's the second thing. Hit the right calorie intake for your goals, whether that's to build muscle or lose fat, and then hit 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight every single day. If you want to add a little something extra, make sure 80% of your total calories each day come from healthy food, right? 20% of your calories can come from whatever the fuck you want. The next thing is sleeping 8 hours per night. So I like to explain fitness using a triangle analogy. So picture on one side you have training, on the other side you have nutrition, and on the other side you have recovery. The reason why it's a triangle is because it's an interdependent system, meaning that if one of these things is not dialed in, the whole system crashes and goes to shit. So most people do not understand the importance of sleep in building a really nice body. So what you have to understand is that gaining muscle doesn't happen in the gym. Gaining muscle happens when you're resting, when you're sleeping. During your sleep is when you turn that stimulation you created in the gym into real muscle tissue. And if you're not sleeping enough, how can you expect to gain muscle? And your quality of sleep is going to massively impact the quality of your training. How can you expect to train hard enough to build muscle if you're going into your workouts exhausted, only having had 4 hours of sleep last night? It's not going to happen, right? So sleep, you have to think of it as the glue of your fitness routine. You could have the best training plan, the best nutrition plan. If your sleep is fucked, nothing matters. Nothing is going to work. Sleep needs to be one of your top priorities. You need to get at least 8 hours of sleep per night. The last thing is you need to walk 8 to 12,000 steps per day. Walking is the best form of cardio we have available to us as human beings because it induces a further calorie deficit. It helps you burn more calories every day, helping you to stay leaner, but without working up your appetite like intense cardio does, and without impacting your strength training like intensive cardio does. So what does having a great body actually mean? It means having a great body composition, right? Having a great body composition means having little body fat, lots of muscle mass. The truth is that the cardio that most people do in attempts to try and improve their physique actually hurts both of these things. So intense cardio works up your appetite, causing more screw-ups in your diet plan. If you want to stay lean, that means eating fewer calories. Ideally, you keep your appetite low so that you don't want to eat more calories, right? And if you're doing intense cardio, and you want to stay lean, those are conflicting goals. The other thing is that intensive cardio interferes with your strength training. As natural lifters, we have limited recuperative abilities. We have limited adaptational reserves. If you're going for runs, you're doing strength training, you're playing soccer, you're playing basketball, you're fucking jumping rope. How can you expect to make progress in the gym? You're being spread way too thin. Your body has to adapt to all those different things, right? Compare that to adapting to strength training, right? I mean, that's an extreme example. I'm not saying that you can't do any activities outside of the gym, but you get the point. Focus is devastatingly powerful, and you need to allocate as much of your reserves and your recovery to your strength training as possible. The beautiful thing about walking is that it's not going to have a severe impact on your recovery because it's low impact, right? It's a low impact activity. So that's the beautiful thing about walking. It's going to help you burn more calories without increasing your appetite and without affecting your workouts. So those are the 4 things you want to do every single week. Nothing else matters. Stop doing other shit. Stop consuming so much fucking fitness content and start implementing these 4 things every single week, and you will achieve the body of your dreams. These are the things that actually create change. Most fitness influencers and authorities and gurus don't actually understand the levers that create body transformation. And there's actually not very many of those levers that actually create transformation. It's these 4 things. Pick a handful of big compound exercises that work well for you and strive to master them and get as strong as possible at them over time and in good form. Hit the right calorie and protein target each day. Sleep 8 hours per night. Walk 8 to 12,000 steps per day. If you do these 4 things on a consistent basis, your body will change. It will fucking transform. Stop worrying about all this extra bullshit. Dial in on these 4 things. Stop mentally masturbating to 1,000 different fitness channels and hearing all these conflicting messages that confuse you up the arsehole, and start doing these 4 fucking things. I promise you, things will change. Talk soon.